Only in the South, this video takes you on a tour of the foods that define the region, and often puzzle outsiders. From grits that spark breakfast debates to fried green tomatoes Hollywood turned into a cliché, these 10 dishes reveal a culinary logic all their own. We'll unpack the stories behind buttermilk biscuits, pimento cheese, boiled peanuts, sweet cornbread, and the rest, showing why these flavors feel like home to locals and a mystery to visitors. Get ready for a savory, sometimes funny look at the rituals, debates, and surprises that come with Southern cooking. 1. Grits. The morning mystery that divides America. 3/4 of the grits sold in the U.S. are bought in the South, in an area stretching from lower Texas to Washington, D.C., that is sometimes called the grits belt. This cornmeal-based porridge looks like alien spacecraft to many Yankees, who poke at it suspiciously on their breakfast plates. The texture throws people off completely. It's neither oatmeal nor cream of wheat, but something entirely Southern. Yankees often approach grits with the same suspicion they might reserve for alien spacecraft. I remember my northern aunt visiting and poking at her breakfast grits, asking if they were some kind of weird Southern oatmeal. Ground from hominy corn, these creamy, thick porridge-like grains form the backbone of Southern breakfast tables. The versatility of grits confounds outsiders. They can be served sweet with butter and sugar or savory with cheese, shrimp, or a runny egg on top. 2. Fried green tomatoes. Hollywood's Southern imposter. Here's a shocking truth that'll ruffle some feathers. After the film Fried Green Tomatoes was released, Americans associated the dish with the South despite the lack of evidence that the dish was previously widely prepared in the U.S. South. The movie created a myth so powerful that even Southerners bought into it. Specifically, food historians and experts have traced the dish to cookbooks found in the Northeast and Midwest, including in Jewish and kosher cookbooks in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Despite its northern origins, the South has fully embraced these cornmeal-crusted green tomato slices as their own. The tangy, firm texture of unripe tomatoes creates the perfect vehicle for that crispy coating that outsiders either love or completely avoid. Green tomatoes have a more tart, tangy and acidic taste than ripe red tomatoes and a dense, firmer texture. Their firm, crisp, and crunchy texture is almost reminiscent of that of a green apple. 2. 3. Buttermilk biscuits. The sacred science nobody masters. Making proper Southern buttermilk biscuits is like performing culinary alchemy, and some claim a proper biscuit can't be baked outside the South. The secret lies in the wheat itself. In the South, by contrast, the available flour was milled from low-protein soft wheat, which lacks the protein content necessary to make great bread but is the ideal flour for biscuits. Using Southern flour in combination with commercial leaveners resulted in biscuits that were feather-light and tender, quickly becoming the dominant bread of the region to rival cornbread in popularity and ubiquity. The technique intimidates even experienced bakers. You've got to keep that butter cold, handle the dough like it might explode, and pray to the biscuit gods that yours rise tall and flaky. Be careful not to overmix. Overmixing can impact the tenderness and rise of the finished biscuits. One wrong move and you've got hockey pucks instead of heavenly pillows. 4. Pimento cheese. The orange spread that sparks war's caviar of the South ain't just a cute nickname. Pimento cheese inspires cult-like devotion from Virginians to Texans. This humble spread of sharp cheddar, mayo, and sweet red pimentos packs a flavor punch that's converted countless skeptics into true believers. Masters Tournament fans know it as the iconic sandwich filling at Augusta National, but Southern homes keep it ready for everything from celery sticks to burger toppings. The texture alone confuses outsiders who expect something more refined than this orange, chunky mess. But that's exactly the point. It's unpretentious comfort food that works on crackers, sandwiches, or straight from the spoon. What remains consistent is Southerners' passionate defense of their preferred recipe and outsiders' initial skepticism before inevitable addiction. Family recipes are guarded more carefully than state secrets. 5. Boiled peanuts. The soggy snack that stops traffic. Yankee tourists turn up their noses, but true Southerners know roadside boiled peanuts are worth slamming on the brakes for. These soggy legumes bear zero resemblance to their roasted cousins. They're soft, salty, sometimes spicy, and completely addictive. The traditional version simmers for hours in heavily salted water, while Cajun variations kick things up with crab boil seasoning. The texture alone makes people question everything they know about peanuts. The result is a uniquely addictive snack with a texture similar to beans and a salty flavor that seeps right to the core. Once you acquire the taste, it's impossible to drive past a "boiled Pages nuts" sign without stopping. Gas stations across the South keep warm crockpots full of these treats, and locals know exactly which spots serve the best ones. 6. Sweet cornbread. The sugar debate that never ends. Sugar in cornbread? Them's fightin' words below the Mason-Dixon. Traditional Southern cornbread is savory, not sweet, crispy edged from a screaming hot cast iron skillet and sturdy enough to hold up to pot liquor or buttermilk. This isn't the cake-like cornbread that Northerners know and love. Southern cornbread is meant to soak up gravy, not stand alone as dessert. Adding sugar to cornbread is such a hot-button issue in the South, whether it should be sweet, whether it should not be sweet. But frankly, it's all about access. Who had access to white sugar, who had access to molasses? The divide runs so deep that some families still argue about it at Sunday dinner. 7. Chicken and waffles. The sweet-savory mind-bender. Sweet meets savory in this mind-bending mashup that has confused Yankees for generations. Crispy fried chicken perched atop fluffy waffles creates a textural wonderland where maple syrup cascades over everything, mingling with butter and hot sauce for flavor fireworks. Southern chefs perfected the combination, understanding that crispy poultry skin and waffle pockets form perfect vessels for syrup. The resulting sweet, salty, crunchy, tender experience explains why this once regional oddity now appears on trendy brunch menus nationwide. The concept sounds like something a drunk person invented at 3 in the morning, but it works beautifully. The combination hits every taste bud and texture preference simultaneously: crispy, soft, sweet, savory, sticky, and satisfying. Outsiders approach it with skepticism until that first bite changes everything. 8. Collard greens. The vegetable that takes all day. Bless your heart if you think collards are just vegetables. These sturdy greens transform into something transcendent after a long, slow simmer with smoked ham hocks, onions, and a splash of vinegar to cut through the richness. Every Southern cook worth their salt knows the liquor, that's pot liquor. To the uninitiated, at the bottom of the pot is liquid gold. Perfect for sopping up with cornbread. The cooking process mystifies people used to quick steamed vegetables. These aren't your typical leafy greens, they're tough, bitter, and completely inedible without proper preparation. The magic happens during those long hours of slow cooking, where ham bones and seasonings work their way into every fiber. What emerges is silky, flavorful, and nothing like the original tough leaves. 9. Red-eye gravy. Coffee for breakfast meat. The thrifty genius of red-eye gravy takes this breakfast staple to legendary status. After frying ham slices, smart cooks deglaze the pan with black coffee, creating that distinctive red eye in the center, creating a thin, potent sauce perfect for drowning biscuits or grits. The idea of adding coffee to breakfast gravy sounds absolutely insane to anyone not raised on it. This isn't some fancy reduction or complicated sauce, it's pure Southern resourcefulness. Don't waste those delicious ham drippings, and don't throw out yesterday's coffee. Mix them together and create something that tastes way better than it has any right to. The coffee adds a bitter edge that cuts through the salt and fat perfectly, but explaining that to outsiders is nearly impossible. 10. Banana pudding. The dessert that defies logic. Easy banana pudding isn't just a dessert, it's the kind of dish Southerners expect to show up perfectly layered every time. Too many overdo the pudding or skip the meringue, and that's where it goes sideways. Vanilla wafers, banana slices, and cold pudding must hold together without becoming a soggy mess. It's one of those Southern dishes you can't fake your way through. The combination sounds simple enough, but the execution requires precise timing and patience. The wafers need to soften just enough without turning to mush, the bananas can't be too ripe or too green, and the pudding must set properly between layers. Forget fancy desserts. Southern potlucks live and die by their banana pudding. It's the dessert that separates the real Southern cooks from the pretenders.